Hello everyone. So today's topic is the learning topic is alkane, and conjugated dienes. And in this, we will study about the learning objective is to study about the chemical reaction of alkene, the how the alkane will give a chemical reaction, how it will react with the other substituents, and it will give a new product. And this to study about the method of preparation of alkene by an elimination reaction. Means here we are preparing alkene with the help of this elimination reaction. So these are the learning objectives, and what the student will going to know is the different product formed from the alkane and the different method of preparation of alkene by different reactant. So here the from the alkane we are getting the different products on the industrial basis or on the lab basis, and we are going to prepare the method preparation of alkene by different reactant, how the different reactant will react react with each other to form a alkene, which is your unsaturated carbocation, and how the saturated hydrocarbon, that is your alkane, that will react with the reagent and form a different products. So the reaction of alkanes, the reaction of alkane mainly involves two type of reactions, that is your substitution reaction and your thermal and catalytic reaction. So in your substitution reaction, there will be three type of reaction, and in your thermal and catalytic reaction, it will be of four types. So here in substitution reaction means here is the substitution of atom to a different by attacking the alkane species, and on that the hydrogen is removed out from there by the other the hydrogen place is substituted by the other atom. So this is known as substitution reaction. In this first one is your halogenation. In this halogenation, there will be a reaction of alkane with the halogen atom. In this, you can take the chlorine, bromine, any halogen, and in this halogenation, a new product is formed. So in the second, it is a nitration. Nitration is generally the reaction of your alkane with the nitric acid. So here nitric acid will react with the alkane, and there will be a formation of the other product. And substitution, and in sulfonation. In the sulfonation also, there is a reaction of sulfuric acid with the alkane, and the formation of a different product is formed in the presence of in all the three reactions. There is a need of high temperature. And the second one is your B thermal and catalytic reaction. In this, four reaction will involve. Firstly, it is your oxidation, second pyrolysis, third is your isomerization, and fourth is your aromatization. In your oxidation, there will be an oxidation of oxidation means addition of oxygen and the removal of hydrogen. So here addition of oxygen will take place, and through which there will be a formation of on alkane, through which there will be a formation of different product, and it will oxidize alkane and form a product. Next is the pyrolysis. Now in pyrolysis or cracking, they need a high temperature. By the help of high temperature, this alkane will crack out, and then it will decompose, and then it will form a different product. Now the isomerization means isomerism is the form in which there are two different which are having isomerase compounds, are the compounds that are having the same molecular formula, but they are having the different structural formula. So in this, there will be from one form will break out, and it will form the different form, but both of them, reactant and the product, is having the same molecular structure. The structured molecular structure will be different and having the same molecular formula. Now the fourth one is aromatization. Here is Here there will be the formation of aromatic product from the saturated saturated product. The saturated product get converted into the aromatic product. So let's start the first reaction. So first reaction, that is the halogenation in alkane. Halogenation in alkane comes under the category substitution reaction. So in this, the reaction of a halogen with an alkane in the presence of ultraviolet light or heat leads to the formation of a haloalkane or alkyl halides. So in this, the reaction of a halogen with an alkane in the presence of ultraviolet light. So here we have to use the ultraviolet light or heat to form a haloalkane, or haloalkanes are also known as alkyl halide. Alkyl halide, alkyl, where it is alkane and the halogen. So here we need light as well as heat for the formation of haloalkane. So this will halogenation in alkane means there will be a reaction of halogen and the with the alkane in the presence of ultraviolet light or the heat at high temperature, 4 degrees centigrade temperature we need, and there will be a formation of haloalkane. So here the reaction is given, that is alkane, that is methane. Methane, when react with this chlorine in the presence of UV light or 400 degrees centigrade, then there will be a formation of CH3Cl, 4Cl, 4HCl, CH2, Cl2, Cl3 plus CCl4. So here there will be a formation of formation of this chloromethane, hydrochloric acid, chlorine, chloroform, and carbon tetrachloride. And once a reaction is started, the light or heat source can be removed and the reaction will be continued. So here, when the reaction started, the light or heat source can be removed and the reaction will continue. So in this process, we need the light or heat source for starting the reaction. To start the reaction, when the reaction gets started, then this light or heat is removed and the reaction will continue as it is. So this is the halogenation mechanism. In this, the fracture of the chlorine molecule leads to the formation of two highly reactive chlorine free radicals, that is your chlorine atom. A free radical is an atom or group that has a single unshared electron. So here the chlorine molecule gets fractured, means there is a homolytic fission, and which leads to the formation of two highly reactive chlorine free radicals. Here chlorine free radical means the chlorine is having 7 electron in its outermost orbit. So it is highly reactive because it wants 1 electron to complete its octet. 1 electron to complete this octet means 8 electrons should be there in the outermost orbit of the electrons atoms. So here chlorine is highly reactive because it is having 7 electron in its outermost orbit. So a free radical is an atom or group that has a single unshared electron. So here a free radical is an atom or group that has a single unshared electron. So the free radical is an atom that is highly reactive, which is having a single unshared electron on it. So here the first step, 3 steps will be evolved. First is your chain initiation step, second is your chain propagation step, third is your chain termination step. So in the first chain initiation step, the bond is said to have broken in a homolytic fashion. Each bonded atom receives 1 electron. This here the chlorine is broken in a homolytic fashion, means both are taking the 1 electron from which are sharing. They take the shared electron from both the electrons, 4 shared electrons. So each bonded atom receives 1 electron. So it is having 1 chlorine atom is having the 1 electron and the other is having the 1. So this initial reaction is called the initiation step of the mechanism. So here, this is the step initiation step of the mechanism, first step of the mechanism. So the chlorine free radicals that are formed in a high energy state and react quickly to complete their octet liberate energy. So here the chlorine free radicals. So the chlorine free radicals which are very high reactives, and they are in a high energy state, so they react quickly because they have to complete their orbit octet. So they and also they liberate energy. Once the high energy chlorine free radical are formed, the energy source UV light or heat can be removed out. So once this in the chlorine, there will be a there would be a homolytic fashion. After that, the heat or your light can be removed from the reaction. So here, if we have taken 4Cl, CLC, Cl2. Here both have taken one electron, and this reaction is happening in presence of UV light. Here it is a formation of 4Cl radical plus 4Cl radical, or you can say 8Cl radical. So this is your chlorine free radical. So the second step is your chain propagation step. So in your chain propagation step, when a chlorine free radical approaches a methane molecule, a homolytic fission of a carbon hydrogen bond occurs. So here a homolytic fission of a carbon hydrogen bond occurs. The carbon free radical combined with the liberated hydrogen free hydrogen free radical to form hydrogen chloride, and a methyl free radical is formed. This is called a propagation step, a step in which both a product and a reactive species which keeps the reaction going are formed. So here there will be a reaction of this reactant, which is a radical react with this methyl molecule and take away its hydrogen, take away its the hydrogen radical will break out, and it leaves the reaction, and the Cl will react with the methyl molecule. So here there is a formation of one product, that is your CH3Cl chloromethane. Second is your second step, there is CH2HCl. So here again, one H will remove out, will abstract from this position, and this chlorine will attack to this position, and there is a formation of CH2Cl2, and H free radical is abstract out. So here the dichloromethane is formed. In step 3, CaCl2H, again the Cl will react with this, will do the fission in this reaction, and thus H a free radical will remove out, will abstract out, and here's the formation of chloroform occurs. Now in the next step 4, there is a trichloro. Chloroform. In chloroform, one hydrogen is present. Again, this reaction will continue until there is a hydrogen is present in the methane. So here only one is present, hydrogen is present. So this is also abstract out. So there is a formation of carbon tetrachloride and a hydrogen radical. Now the last step is your termination. Termination means there is a stoppage in the reaction. So when a reaction occurs between free radical, a product forms, but no new free radical are found. This type of reaction is called a termination step. So in this, the product formed, but no new free radical are formed. So in the termination step, there will be no formation of free radical, or no product are formed new. And this type of reaction is called termination step. So here the last product is formed, that is your 4 free radical of chlorine and 4 free radical of hydrogen. After that, there is a formation of HCl. So here 5 products are formed. Your chloromethane is formed, your dichloromethane is formed, your trichloromethane is formed, or tetrachloromethane is formed. Next, an HCl is formed. Next is your nitration. In the nitration, there is a use of HNO3. So HNO3 is your nitric acid. when alkane react with nitric acid at high temperature 400 degrees centigrade to 500 degrees centigrade to form nitroalkane. So in this, the alkane react with nitric acid. Alkane react with this nitric acid at high temperature to 400 to 500 degrees centigrade to form nitroalkane. So here there is a formation of uh, there is a formation of nitromethane. So in the first reaction, you can see this RH is given. R here means alkyl group is attached. So here alkyl, when this alkyl, this alkane is reacted with this nitric acid at very high temperature. So here the temperature should be 400 to 500 degrees centigrade, and there is a formation of nitromethane and H2O, and a water molecule is evolved out. Here you can see then CH3H. We can write the methane like this also, like CH3H and OH NO2. So here H and OH will combine and form a water molecule, and this CH3 and NO2 will combine and form a nitromethane. So the first step is your chain initiation step. So in chain initiation step, OH NO2 when this heat up, and there is a formation of, when this heat or in the presence of ultraviolet light or in the presence of light, this will fission. There will be a homolytic fission, and there is OH NO2 is formed. So here in the next step, chain propagation step, this HCH3 means this methane also get this H will also H will also abstract out from here at high temperature, and there will be a formation of H radical and CH3 radical. So in the last chain termination step, which is a stoppage for the reaction, so here this CH3 radical and this NO2 radical will react with each other, and there they form a CH3 NO2. So here nitromethane is formed, and OH will combine with H, and there is a formation of water molecule. So in the third step of the substitution reaction was sulfonation reaction. So this involves the substitution of a hydrogen atom of alkane with SO3H. So here there is a substitution of hydrogen atom of alkane with this SO3H. So when prolonged reaction of alkane, when reaction of alkane is done with fumic sulfuric acid, we will get here alkane sulfonic acid. So here alkane, when reacting with fumic sulfuric acid, then there will be a formation of water molecules. This H and OH will combine, and they will form water molecule, and this R and SO3H will combine, they will form alkane sulfonic acid. So here methyl sulfonic acid is formed. Next step is the combination or the oxidation, which comes under the thermal or the catalytic reaction. Here catalytic means the catalyst is a substance that fasten or slow the reaction rate, or it can itself act as a reactant and itself come out from the reaction as it is. So combustion of alkane gives carbon dioxide and water. So here combustion of alkane gives carbon dioxide and water, and the general equation for the combustion of hydrogen is given below. So here CXHYO2, it will give CO2, H2O, and heat. Here the heat will evolve out from this reaction. And here we have taken the example pentane. When pentane is reacting or is oxidized, and there will be a formation of CO2 and your H2O, and the heat that is evolved out is minus 845.2 calorie per mole. Next is the pyrolysis or the cracking. So pyrolysis means there is a decomposition of a compound by heat. Pyro means heat, and the lysis means there is a decomposition. So here the decomposition of a compound by heat is called pyrolysis. This process when applied to alkane is known as cracking. So here this process when applied to this alkane In alkane, then it is known as cracking. And here larger alkanes are broken. Here not smaller alkane, but the larger alkanes are broken into a mixture of lower molecular weight alkenes and hydrogen. So here the product formed would be alkenes and hydrogen at high temperature, 500 degrees centigrade, in the absence of air. Means here the reaction is processing in vacuum condition. So here CH3CH, which is your ethane, when it is reacting, here we have taken the 2 molecule of ethane. So here it is reacting at a very high temperature, which is your 500 degrees centigrade, and it is happening in the absence of air. So here is a formation of ethene plus methane plus your hydrogen. Next is your isomerization. So in your isomerization, normal alkanes are converted to their branched chain isomers in the presence of aluminum chloride and HCl. So here isomers are the compounds that are having the same molecular formula, but their structures are different. So here they are having the different structures, and this reaction is occurring in normal alkanes, which are converting into the branched chain isomers in the presence of aluminum chloride. Aluminum chloride is acting as a catalyst here, and that catalyst is then with the help of HCl, in the presence of HCl, this is converting into the isobutane. So here this is a normal alkane, means it is a chain, N-butane is a chain compound, and in the presence of catalyst AlCl3, it is converting into the branched chain isomer. So here you can see this butane is having the same molecular formula as that of the isobutane. So here Cr4, in case of isobutane, these are also the 4 carbons are present in this, and hydrogens are 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here 10 hydrogens are there. And in case of isobutane, also 3, 3, 6, 3, 9, or 1, 10. 10 hydrogens are there. So they are having the same, N-butane and isobutane are having the same molecular formula, but their molecular structure is different. Now the next reaction is aromatization. Aromatization, alkane containing 6 to 10 carbon atoms are converted into benzene. So here alkane that are having these 6 to 10 carbon atoms are converting into benzene and its homologue, means its derivatives, at high temperature and in the presence of a catalyst. So here alkanes 6 to 10, where alkanes which are having the 6 to 10 means they are hexane, heptane, and octane, then nonane, then decane. So these 4 carbon atoms are converted into benzene and its homologue at high temperature and in the presence of catalyst, and the catalyst is your Cr2O3, chromium oxide, with the and also with alumina, which is supported by the alumina. So here N-hexane is passed over Cr2O3 and supported by alumina at 600 degrees centigrade to form benzene. So here N-hexane, you can see here N-hexane, and N-hexane, the carbons are here, 6 carbon atoms are there. When 6 carbon atoms are there, these are the saturated compounds, and they are forming a product which is an unsaturated compound, that is benzene, which is having the double bond. So here from here the hydrogens are removed from this straight chain, or you can say this from this alkane, and there is a hydrogen gas, and the hydrogen gas is evolved out, and this reaction is occurring in the presence of chromium oxide, alumina at 600 degrees centigrade and at 10 atmosphere. Next are paraffins. So what are paraffins? So paraffins are also known as liquid paraffins, paraffin oil, kerosene, and it is a combustible hydrocarbon liquid that is burned as fuel. So these are also known as kerosene, liquid paraffin, paraffin oil. It is a combustible hydrogen liquid because it's burned out and it's burned as a fuel. So it is being burnt as a fuel. It is a mixture of different type of simple hydrocarbons. So here it is a mixture of simple hydrocarbons, that is your saturated hydrocarbon, and it is less volatile and then gasoline, and it boils at 302 to 527 Fahrenheit. So here it boils at a very high temperature, at 302 to 527 degrees Fahrenheit. Next is paraffin when found in solid form. If it is found in solid form, it is known as paraffin wax. And if it is present in your liquid form, it is known as paraffin oil. Liquid paraffin oil is a mineral oil. It is a mineral oil that comes in two forms. So here liquid paraffin oil is a liquid form that comes in two forms, either heavy liquid paraffin oil or light liquid paraffin oil. So here it comes in two forms, that is your heavy liquid paraffin oil or the light liquid paraffin oil. So what are the uses of paraffin? Paraffin is widely used as fuel for jet engines and rockets, and as fuel or a fuel component for diesel and tractor engines. Here, paraffins are used for the jet engines, rockets, and in rockets also paraffin is used as a fuel. In diesel, for the fuel component for diesel, it is used as a component in diesel or in the tractor engines. So paraffin is the most widely used heating oil. It is used as heating oil in homes at central heating system in the UK. In UK, they use it is as a heating oil, and it is also used in less developed countries as a main fuel for cooking. So it is also used as a main fuel for cooking in the less developed countries. So here liquid paraffin can be used as lubricant for machinery. So liquid paraffins can also act as a lubricant for the in case of machineries also. So it is commonly used to treat dry skin. Here it is also used in cosmetics also for treating the dry skin, constipation, and medicines also, and eczema also. So it is used in the pharmaceutical industries also. Paraffin wax is also used as a water harvesting soil treatment to supply runoff water to dry area. So it is also used in the areas where there is a dry condition. So here it is used in a water harvesting soil treatment, and as an adhesive. It is also used as adhesive and as a waterproofing agent. Next, the elimination reaction. So what is elimination reaction? So elimination reaction is a type of reaction that is mainly used to transform saturated compounds to unsaturated compounds. Here it is used to transform saturated compounds, means the compounds that contain single carbon-carbon bond, to unsaturated, means the compounds containing double or triple carbon-carbon bond. So here the elimination reaction that are used to transform the compound containing single bond to the double bond. So here it is an important method for the preparation of alkene. So it is also used in the preparation of alkene. So here you can see alkyl halide example is given. Alkyl halide when treated with NaOH in the ethanolic solution, and it is heat up, then alkene is formed. So here the method of elimination reaction. So the method of elimination reaction, this elimination reaction, normally elimination reaction are distinguished by the kind of atom or group that leaves the molecule. Due to this, there are two main methods involved in this reaction. This elimination reaction are distinguished by the kind of atom or group or atom that leaves the reaction. Here the elimination of atom occurs. The atom normally leaves the molecule, and due to this there are two main methods. So there are two main methods for this elimination reaction. One is your dehydration, second is your dehydrohalogenation. So dehydration method, there is elimination of water molecule, mostly from compounds such as alcohol. Sometimes this method is also called beta elimination reaction, where the leaving group and H are placed at neighbor carbon atom. So in dehydration method, there is elimination of water molecule, mostly from compounds such as is alcohol. Sometimes this method is also called beta elimination reaction. So in this case, this is also known as beta elimination reaction, and this dehydration is normally occur in the alcohol, from where there is dehydration in itself means that there is a removal of water molecule from the water molecule from the compound. So this normally occurs in the alcohol. So here the this method is known as beta elimination reaction, and the leaving group, that the group that is leaving, and the H hydrogen proton are placed at both are placed at the neighboring carbon atom. On the other hand, in dehydrohalogenation, there is a removal of hydrogen atom and a halogen atom. So in case of dehydrohalogenation, there is a removal of hydrogen atom as well as the halogen atom. And in case of dehydration, there is a removal of uh, hydrogen as well as your OH. And in case of dehydrohalogenation, there is a removal of hydrogen atom and a hydrogen atom and a halogen atom. So mechanism of elimination reaction. So what are the mechanism? What are the conditions for the mechanism of elimination reaction? So the elimination reaction consists of three fundamental events. They are there is a happening of proton removal. The proton is removing out. There is a pi bond is formed, double bond formed. In alkene, there is a double bond, so the pi bond is formed. There is a breakage in the bond of the living group, where the living group is leaving. There is a breakage. There is a breakage of bond. So this is your elimination reaction. So in this, the first reaction is your even reaction. The first reaction, that is your even reaction. So in the even mechanism, which is also known as unimolecular reaction. Here one means unimolecular and E means elimination. There are usually two steps involved in this even mechanism reaction. Two steps are involved. One is your ionization, second is your deprotonation. And during ionization, there is a formation of carbocation as an intermediate. In deprotonation, a proton is lost by the carbocation. So in the even reaction, there is a formation of carbocation is formed as as an intermediate, because here two steps are processed. In the first step, there is a formation of carbocation and a proton is lost. In deprotonation, a proton is lost. This happens in the presence of base, which further leads to the formation of pi bond in the molecule. So after that, where the base will attack this proton, after that there is the formation of pi bond. So even the reaction rate is also proportional to the concentration of the substance to be transformed. So in even reaction, the reaction rate is directly proportional to the concentration of substance to be transformed. Means the reactant, the reaction rate is dependent upon the concentration of the reactant, and it exhibits first order kinetics. It follows first order kinetics. So in this reaction, you can see that the halogen is taking the bond. After that, there is a formation of carbocation. After that, the base attacks this proton, and there is a formation of pi bond, or you can say there is a formation of alkene. The initial step is the formation of carbocation intermediate through the loss of the living group. So here there is a formation of carbocation intermediate through the loss of the living group. This slow step becomes the rate determining step for the whole reaction. Now this is the E2 reaction. E2 reaction mechanism means E means elimination, 2 means bimolecular. It is a basically one-step process. Here the carbon hydrogen and carbon halogen bonds break off, and there is a form of new double bond. So carbon hydrogen and carbon halogen bonds are break off, and there is a form of new double bond. In E2 mechanism, a base is the rate determining step, and it has a huge influence on the mechanism. The reaction rate is mostly proportional to the concentration of both the eliminating agent and the substrate. So it is mostly proportional to the concentration of the eliminating reagent and the substrate. It follows second order kinetics, and the E2 mechanism can generally be represented as follows in the below mentioned representation. B stand for base and X stand for the halogen. The rate of the E2 reaction is rate equals to Rx and base. Rx is your reactant and base is your reagent. So in this reaction, it is a one-step process and there is the formation of transition state. So the reaction depends upon both the substrate and the base involved. In this, the elimination reaction, the major product formed is the most stable alkene. Now the preparation of alkene. It involves 5 types of reactions: dehydration of alcohol, dehydrohalogenation of alkyl halide, dehalogenation of vicinal dihalide, controlled hydrogenation of alkyne, and cracking of alkane. So first is your dehydration of alcohol. In this, when alcohol is heated in the presence of sulfuric acid to form alkene by elimination of water. So here you can see this is your alcohol. When it is treated with the H2SO4 and heated, there is an elimination of this water molecule HOH. So it is removed out and water molecule is formed and this alkene is formed. So here example is given 1-propanol. When 1-propanol is reacted with H2SO4, the propene is formed and the water molecule is removed. So here dehydration of alcohol is shown by the 3 types of alcohol: primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, and the tertiary alcohol. So in case of primary alcohol, it in the 3 alcohol, in all the 3 alcohols are forming the alkene, but the difference is that the temperature in case of primary alcohol is more as compared to the tertiary alcohol. So in primary alcohol, the temperature is 170 degrees centigrade, and in case of tertiary alcohol, temperature is 100 degrees centigrade. So here the A's of dehydration is 3 secondary tertiary, then secondary tertiary, then primary tertiary. The mechanism of dehydration of alcohol. So here it is a 2-step process which involves this OH will react by this catalyst, that is your H2SO4. This proton will react with this OH and there is a formation of water molecule. There is a removal of water. After that, there is a formation of carbocation, C positive carbon that contains the positive charge is known as carbocation. After that, this weak base will react with this hydrogen and this bond will break and there is a formation of pi bond. So here alkene is formed and H2SO4, which is acting as a catalyst, it remove out as it is from the reaction. Now these are the 3 alcohols. We are showing here the reactions of this reaction of this alcohol. So this is the primary alcohol, it forms alkene and the H2O. This is your secondary alcohol, and in this case you can see here there is a formation of carbocation on this carbon and then the base react to it. Here the 2 products are formed. One is your major and second one is minor. Now how we will going to identify that this is major and the second one is minor. So here according to the Sadjev rule, more stable alkene will be that compound which have neighboring carbon having high number of alpha hydrogen atoms. That is your this CH is your alpha and the CH and CH3 are the alpha position. The CH and CH the neighboring CH3 and CH3 are the neighboring to this bond forming carbons. So this here is 3 alpha hydrogen. This side on the right side there are 3 alpha hydrogen. So by adding this alpha hydrogen, it will be 6 alpha hydrogen. So it is a major product. Now in the second minor product, the second one is your CH2, CH, CH2, CH3. So this CH is your CH. On the right side of this CH2, there is no alpha hydrogen. On this left side of the CH, there is only 2 alpha hydrogen. So we will going to count this 2 alpha hydrogen. So the product that is having the more alpha hydrogen, that is your major product, and which is having the less alpha hydrogen, that is your minor product. So the third reaction you can see here, or again there is a hydride shifting is occurring on this step where the carbocation is formed. As we know that the secondary carbocation is more stable than the primary carbocation. So here the hydride shifting is happening. So here we have done the hydride shifting and there will be the 2 products from major and the minor. So now in the fourth, that is the tertiary alcohol. When we are reacting the tertiary alcohol, then you can see the carbocation is formed on the primary. So we know that the tertiary is more stable than the secondary and the primary. So here the alkyl shifting is happening. So here we have done the alkyl shifting, and after the alkyl shifting, the base is reacting to this carbocation, and the two products are formed. One is major and the other one is minor. Now the second reaction is a dehydrohalogenation of alkyl halide. Here the alkyl halide is heated with alcoholic solution of sodium hydroxide to form alkene and hydrogen halide. So alkyl halide is reacting with NaOH in alcohol, and there is a formation of alkene, water, and halogen. So you can see here propyl chloride is reacting with NaOH in alcohol, and there is a formation of propene, H2O, and HCl. So dehydrohalogenation, you can see here the uh, three reactions are shown. That is the tertiary, secondary, and the primary. So here you can see the tertiary does not give any. Here you can see the alcohol. Alcohol is with KOH strong base. This is reacting with the strong base, and here there is a formation of alkene, KCl, and the H2O. These are the same reactions, same reactions in which we are getting the two products, that is the major and the minor. And in the mechanism, you can see here when this alkyl halide is reacted with the alcoholic potassium hydroxide, then there is a formation of transition state. This is also known as baby alkene, and the rate of reaction is dependent on the reactant and the substrate base, and there is a formation of alkene. So there no carbocation is formed, no rearrangement is there, only the intermediate baby alkene is formed. Next, these reactions shows that in the tertiary, there will be no reaction because there on the beta position, there is no hydrogen atom is present. So there will be no reaction will occur to this tertiary compound. Now dehydrogenation of alkyl halide. So here questions. Question 1 is alkane undergo halogenation. It is an example of nucleophilic substitution reaction. B is your elimination. C is your free radical substitution. D is your electrophilic substitution. So the answer is C, because the alkane undergo halogenation with the electrophilic substitution reaction. So here the second is your paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is a saturated hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbon, alcohol, or your ester. So it is your saturated hydrocarbon that comes under the category of alkanes. Now, during the elimination reaction of halogen alkane, the reagent used is ethanolic sodium hydroxide, ethanoic acid, ethanoate, or ethane. So here the answer is ethanolic sodium hydroxide. Now the fourth question is, which of the following statement regarding the E2 mechanism is wrong? So here reaction by the E2 mechanism are always bimolecular. Reaction by the E2 mechanism are generally second order. Reaction by the E2 mechanism usually occur in one step, and reaction by the E2 mechanism usually occur in two steps. So answer is D. Now fifth, which of the following reaction condition favors on even reaction mechanism? So first is a weak nucleophile, second is your strong base, C is your strong nucleophile, D is your weak base. So the answer is D. Six, which of the following conditions favors an E2 mechanism? So first is your weak nucleophile, second is your strong nucleophile, third is your weak base, and the D is your strong base. So E2 mechanism favors strong base. Now the seventh question, in an elimination reaction, one pi bond and one pi bond is formed, one sigma bond and one sigma pi bond are broken, and two sigma bonds are formed, two sigma bonds are broken, and one sigma bond and one pi bonds are formed. Two pi bonds are broken and one sigma bond is formed. So here two sigma bonds are broken and one sigma and one pi bonds are formed. Which of the following characters does not reflect on even reaction mechanism? Tertiary substrate, aprotic solvents, weak base, formation of a carbocation intermediate. So here the answer will be aprotic solvents, because it generally happens in protic solvents. Now, which of the following characteristics does not reflect an E2 reaction mechanism? Here the tertiary substrate, bimolecular reaction kinetics, aprotic solvent, two-step mechanism. Then the answer is two-step mechanism. Which of the following statement regarding the E1 mechanism is wrong? Reaction by the even mechanism are biomolecules in the rate determining step, and reaction by the even mechanism are generally first order. Reaction by the even mechanism usually occur in one step. Reaction by the even mechanism has multi-step reaction. So answer is C. So these are the references. These are the references of this topic.